Never let a good crisis go to waste. I still stand by that saying, but now the key is how do you prepare for the downturns? Last year, we saw used car prices drop by 10%. Standalone, that looks great if you're in the market to buy a used car. However, their prices are still too high. Unless you need to buy a car today, it might pay to wait. Better times are likely down the road, at least for buyers, maybe not sellers. In 2020 and 2021, car prices jumped 52%, and when looking from the absolute bottoms to highs, it was actually closer to a 60% increase. That's unlike anything we've seen before. Here are used car prices over the past 2 decades. It's out of the normal, and looking beneath the hood, the market is still out of whack. Free checks from the government created artificial demand. Uncle Sam dropped helicopters of cash into the economy. And Jay Powell aided and abetted in these efforts by pushing rates down to zero. Although the verdict is still out, and we may never know if these actions will have been a net benefit. We have to always be worried, is the cure worse than the disease? Of course, the stimulus really helped out in the short term, but the long-term impacts are still unknown. And already the Fed, it's taken away the punch bowl from the party. These changes, it takes time to ripple throughout the economy, but the hangover, it's starting to kick in and consumers are stretching thin. After a huge spike, saving rates have dropped back down to earth. They're not far from their all-time lows. And this, it really doesn't bode well for consumer spending going forward. With higher rates and car prices, the average car loan payment hit all-time highs. Used car buyers have been taking out much larger loans. After little to no change for a decade, used car loans climbed 47% over the course of a few years. And this is a huge move for the average family in the US, or just the average buyer. With higher food prices and living expenses, buying a car takes a back seat. More people, they're putting off those trips to their dealers. As a result of this overall lower demand, inventories have started to build. And that's also thanks to an easing of the supply chain that we saw within the auto industry. We saw plenty of chip delay headlines over the last year or two. Overall, with these powerful trends, I wouldn't be surprised to see used car prices drop another 20% in 2023. That's historically a big move, but it's only going to put prices about back in line with averages, looking at the long term. Here's one last look at used car prices. It's the data from that first chart I showed you, but this time it shows year-over-year price changes. With each recession, there's been an extended drawdown in prices, and we're really just in the early stages of the 2023 recession. We're starting to see layoffs really pick up. The recent corporate earnings announcements haven't been too hot either. Given higher rates and other changes in the economy, there should be some better buying opportunities ahead. Over the years, I've been keeping a really close eye on both the used and new car market. We're seeing cracks in both. And for a big update on my end, I put in an order to buy a Tesla Model Y. I jumped on the opportunity after Tesla dropped the price by $13,000 in a single day. On top of that, this car now qualifies for a $7,500 tax credit. The car market, both used and new, is taking a big U-turn. I plan on sharing more details soon, and if you haven't subscribed already, I'd really appreciate your support. Also, please tap that like button down below. It takes 2 seconds and it means a great deal to me. So thanks in advance, and please let me know if you have any comments or questions down below.